Welcome to all you Pisceans. Welcome for your monthly horoscope for April 2016. And this is the month of preparation, I think, because so many planets are going retrograde, so many planets are going backwards. Mars is going retrograde, Mercury going retrograde, Saturn, and so on and so on. But most importantly, Mars and Mercury. So let's start with Mars, because whenever there is a Mars retrograde going on in a certain sign, and particularly when it's going on in one of your key areas of your life, which is the fact for you Pisceans, it's happening in the highest point of your horoscope, which is the 10th house. If that is happening, a Mars going backwards, it means that there are going to be, after that retrograde, and when it becomes going forwards in that sign again, which will be around August time, September time, there's a change in that house, a big change in that house, in the way that you do things, because that's Mars, in the way that you act, in the way your intentions, that you show your intentions, in the way that your desires. What do you desire? What do you want when it comes to 10th house issues? So when it comes to work, for most of you, it will have to do with work. For some of you, it could have to do with your connection with your mom. And for others, it can have to do with maybe their connection with their boss or another authority. So the 10th house is authorities. So what does it mean having Mars there for quite a long time going retrograde and also standing still at 8 degrees of Sagittarius, where there is in fact a fixed star, which is named Antares? It means something. It also means something that Saturn is already there in Sagittarius, and Saturn is about maturity, mastering, committing. Having Mars in the picture surely shows that there is like this reflection when it comes to what do you want to do. This not only that, but also Mars in Sagittarius is a lot about I do because I have an ideal. That's Mars in Sagittarius. So it's ruled by Jupiter, your ruler. So it gives people with natally Mars in Sagittarius, it gives people who are very multifaceted and who are driven, Mars, by their ideals. So that's all very, very good. It's good to do something for the higher purpose, to do something that is in line with the divine. This is very much emphasized by Mars in Sagittarius in itself. And Saturn is saying, make it work. Don't just dream. Because this Mars is also squaring Neptune, which shows don't dream too much and don't do it just for yourself. That's Mars square Neptune. And it's going on for the whole month because it goes so slowly. And Neptune is in your sign, so do it not only for you, but also doing it something when it comes to work, when it comes to your connections with mom or with authorities. Do that also for the collective, which may sound a bit weird, doesn't it, when it comes to your mom? But anyway, so there is this very strategic planning going on with that Mars over there in the 10th house, because it's on the fixed star of Antares that it goes backwards. And Antares is all about courage. Actually, it's a fixed star that is associated with Mars and Jupiter, according to Ptolemy, Mars and Jupiter. So it is in itself already, it has to do with Mars. It has to do with asserting. And it has to do with that Jupiter energy, which is what are you believing? And assert yourself for the things that you believe in. But so the negative thing about the fixed star is endings and war. And it's a bit of a military kind of fixed star. But the good thing is that it conveys mental alertness and strategic ability. So it's like mixing the streetwise with the intellect, you could say, mixing those two, because the ruler of Sagittarius is in Virgo, which is very, planning and analytical and doing one step before the other step, doing it all very perfectly. So there is something for the Piscean. That is a big change coming on, whether it comes to work, whether it comes to your attitude towards authority in general. And it's about very mature attitude, because Mars is with Saturn there. Although they're not connecting yet, but they're in the same sign. So it's about maturity. It's about not escaping your integrity or your responsibilities. It's being real, being realistic. It's tackling the obstacles, you could say. And the more you resist them, the worse it gets, especially with Antares over there. So it is actually, I think, an energy that is all about intention and integrity, the two E's, intention and integrity. And Mars, of course, if you want to apply Mars at its best, which is an assertive Mars, and when you try to follow the best intention, not only the best intention, but also the integrity and the alignment with something that is bigger than you, with God, with the divine, again, or with your higher self, at least if you don't believe in God, then I think this is the way to do it, to standing still, to going, because it goes backwards. So it's saying, are you sure? Do you want to do this in that way? And what are the consequences? And plan it strategically so that you can get what you want around August time. Because Mars going retrograde in a certain house shows that there is opportunity to get what you want. Absolutely. That's why it's so long over there in that particular house. But it's a tremendous amount of work and courage. That's the beauty of Mars. And that's the best side of Mars, courage, having the courage to go for what you desire, but in alignment with what is good. Not only for you, but for the collective. So it's a very spiritual position, having Mars in Sagittarius, I think. And I think it's for everyone an opportunity to standing still with what do we intend? If we act the way we act, what's the intention there? What's the real intention? Now, on the other hand, there's also Mercury going retrograde, and that is in Taurus, and that is in your third house. And that Mercury touches during it's going retrograde at the very end of the month. So at the 29th, I think. At the 29th, is it? Yeah. At 23 degrees of Taurus. So that's more for May, you could say. But Mercury is slowing down in your third house in Taurus. Again, this is about a house of facts and figures, and it's about reality when it comes to the way you think. So it's not so much about intuition. It's more about what is real here, facts and figures and these things. And there's also readjustment because Mercury goes retrograde. So there also will be things that you are going to review and do that with Vesta. Vesta is a little asteroid that is traveling together in a conjunction with Mercury. So Mercury and Vesta are together going through, transiting your third house. And Vesta is a little asteroid that is associated with Virgo and that is associated with dedication and focus, super focus. So there is like this, you're focusing on something that's clear, we all are, but it seems like you're focusing on the way that you think, and in a way that you want to improve the way that you think, you want to adjust the way that you think, and you want to make it more practical, more down to earth. That's basically it with the Mercury in Taurus, and together with that Vesta, purity as well. Vesta is all about purity, so you want to be pure and honest and decent and real in your communication. So interesting transit with the Mercury because it touches all good. It has two trines going on whilst it's going retrograde, which is not always easy, especially in the third house, because it can slow down your computer, it can slow down communications. but it trines Jupiter in your 7th house of other people. It trines also Pluto in your 11th house of friends and your aspirations. So I think a busy month for April, a busy month. When Mercury goes retrograde in the 3rd, it's usually very busy, and especially because it's all the communication houses. So I think a lot of communication, profound communication with Pluto, and Jupiter also expansive, so profound expansion going on in the mind through other people's reasonings and through your own reasonings. So yeah, I think it's overall not a bad month at all for you Pisceans. And so thank you very much for listening. I wish you all the best with the alterations and adjustments when it comes to your work environment or your attitude towards authorities, and yes, do rethink the way that you think. It's never bad to do that, you know. Wishing you a very good month, and see you next month. Bye bye.